Hey, my name is Joe Reed. For several years, I've been actively involved in the mental health community, advocating for people who struggle with mental illness and um, just being a support. But I've never really come out publicly to everyone and said or spoken about my struggles. So that's what I'm doing now. This is a coming out video of sorts, related to my own personal struggle with mental illness. Um, I have a mental illness. Mental illness. I've been diagnosed with mental illness. Was diagnosed in 2002, and really, as far back as I can remember, which would be second grade, has been something that's been recognized as something I've dealt with. And I am just doing my best to just manage that day by day. It's mental health is not something that I can take for granted. It's something that I have to look at almost some days moment by moment, just to keep myself in check, because yeah, things that happen that can get a typical person down or sad, they happen to me and they get me down or sad. But one of the distinctions for those struggling with mental illness, with my particular diagnosis of major depressive disorder, is that these incidents take me down pretty far, to the point of just wanting to end my life. This deep compulsion to just end it, and that my life is worthless, and that I'm a waste of skin and flesh and breathing air that could be used much better by other people. Another tell, something that I've had to deal with, is that when things aren't going wrong, and I just wake up in the morning and I feel exactly the same as I just mentioned, just useless, worthless, a waste of skin and flesh. Um, it's a tough battle I fight every day, and one of the things that I deal with, it's kind of hard to explain in words, but I'll do my best. Is the voices that I have that kind of are going on in the back of my head. They're not literal voices. They're impulses that kind of just are constantly whispering in my mind the lack of worth that I have, the abject failure that I am in life, the meaninglessness of my life. It's just, these are things that happen. These are reminders that I get in my mind, whispers, if you will, in my mind. Sometimes it feels like every minute of every day that these things, and I refer to these as internal voices. Um, but again, I'm not hearing voices. They're just these impulses that feel like voices, and so I've really been pushing back against my own illness by being very vocal to the community of mentally ill people. But now I'm just kind of wanting to expand that to a more public arena for those of you that may not be receiving treatment or getting help, because it's important. There is help, and the help that is there is helpful. It's helpful, like the things that people have guided me to do: medication, exercises, diet, rest, just general health care things, self-care things that really make a difference. These things really help, and so I encourage you, as I have done, to seek therapy and to take medications and take care of myself as prescribed by a doctor, as directed by a mental health professional. So yeah, the struggle is real for so many of us, and it looks so different for so many people. And I think I've always felt like I'm alone in this battle, and that's one of the voices per se in the back of my head is I'm alone, but I know I'm not, and I know that this battle is not one that I face alone. So the reason I'm making this video is just because I'm afraid to. I'm afraid to come out and say the things that are the deepest part of who I am. Have been defining me for decades. But there comes a point in my own personal recovery that expressing that fear openly and exposing it to the light of day is very therapeutic. So that is what I'm doing. For people out there who don't know that I am mentally ill or I have a mental illness, that like this is something I deal with.